ever find yourself or your staff drifting at work? They're sort of cruising along, not really getting much done. Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan, and I'm also the author of Japan Sales Mastery. Well, we are not machines, we're not robots. We can't work at maximum peak load and with 100% efficiency of repetition like a machine. People get sick, people have emotional problems, people get bored, people get tired. Every day, repetition. Actually, it's always interesting for me how many times I see people taking Monday off or half a Monday off or coming in late on a Monday because they've got some headache or they're not feeling well or whatever it is. Very interesting. Often that's a bit of an indicator that they're not putting the right balance on their work life as opposed to their non-work life, and they're exhausting themselves on the weekend and not prepared to work a full week when they get back to work the following Monday. But also, what about when they are there? How hard are they working? Well, part of the reason that people drift or they start cruising, and it happens to all of us, it's not like, oh, those terrible staff, they're very bad, they're cruising, I'm the boss, I'm like a legend of hard work and just tenacity and consistency. Not true. We all have our ups and downs, we all have our peak periods of efficiency, we have periods of inefficiency. But part of the problem is that often we're becoming disconnected from our goals. And when we become disconnected from our goals, the point of what we're doing becomes less clear. Yeah, we know we need to work hard, we know the firm and the organisation has to go forward, but our little role in all of that becomes a bit obscure and a bit vague compared to what it should be. Now, it's very interesting for me. When I ask classes, when we're teaching leadership training or whatever, I say, how many, this is a leadership group, right? How many people have goals? Oh, everyone puts their hand up, great. What sort of goals do they have? You know, very broad goals, very, very broad goals. You know, get the target achieved. Yes, okay, great. But how are you going to break that down? What's the milestone, sequence for that? What are the metrics that you're going to really look at that on a very detailed basis? They're very just broad. Or lose weight, how many kilos, by when? How are you going to keep it off, So we often get into either no goals or very vague and broad goals with no timelines and no specificity, which is almost the same as no goal anyway. This is not going to help us. If we want to make sure we're not cruising, not getting a bit lost, drifting in work, coming back to our goals is very good. Now, the other thing is to ask, how many people got written down goals? And very, very few people have written down goals. Now, I don't need that paperwork, admin, more paperwork, writing goals there, what's that? Funnily enough, mysteriously, I don't know why it is, but having goals written down does a couple of things. One, it brings clarity to what we're thinking, because our thoughts can be very, all over the place a little bit. We've got many things in our mind, we're bouncing ideas around. But when we have to come to write it, it forces us to be clear and concise, because goals can't be massively long. They've got to be fairly concise. Okay, that's a good thing. The other thing is, by writing it down, there's a commitment there. It's something you can go and look at. You put it up on your mirror when you're shaving in the morning or putting your makeup on or whatever. There's the goal. It's set there. You can read it. Top goals for today or goals for this week or whatever it might be. Or it might be something more elaborate. In my case, my goals are pretty elaborate because I have many functions for want of a better word, or many roles, I guess is a better word, in my life. I'm a parent, I'm a husband, I'm a leader, I'm an investor because you take care of the family money. I'm a writer. I've got many, many goals that I have in front of me, and so I need to have something specified for all those roles and goals to go with those roles. Now that's me. I like to be very thorough, but you don't have to be that detailed. Just pick out some key goals. Maybe it might be even just for this half year. If you can't even think the full year, you've probably got some annual goals anyway from the company, but break it down a bit closer. Maybe quarterly goals, maybe half-year goals, maybe monthly goals, maybe weekly goals, maybe daily goals. I like daily because then your workflow is very, very clear. What's the most important thing I need to do today? Do it. And what's the second most important thing I need to do today? Do it. Because that's helping me get towards my goal or goals, right? So if you find that your team is drifting or you're drifting, and you start to disconnect a little bit from, being the right application of the work ethic here, could be you disconnecting from your goals. Go back. If you don't have goals, write some. If you have goals, go back and re-look at them. Maybe rework them. Maybe they need to be refreshed. When we do this, we have much more clarity about what we're doing. We bring our energy to a focus point where we can get the maximum efficiency, maximum productivity from what we're doing. We've got to go to work anyway. We may as well be at maximum efficiency, maximum productivity, as far as human beings can manage it anyway, that we can actually be. So think back. Goals, write them down, focus on them, work towards them. If we do that, we will have a much better and happier work life.